Have you ever tried to start a new habit, but for some reason you just couldn't get it to really stick? It's like you're motivated at first, but then life starts to get in the way and you kind of just find yourself slipping right back into your old routines. Trust me, we've literally all been there. But what if I told you there's actually an easy way to form new habits? A way that actually works? Well, in this video, we're going to explore 5 key principles that will help you master any habit that you set your mind to. The first principle is to start small. Don't try to overhaul your entire life overnight and do that whole boil the whole ocean thing. Instead, begin with something small and manageable. So basically make a manageable habit that you can incorporate into your daily life. When I say small, I mean think about something that's as robotic as getting up to brush your teeth. It basically should be one of those things that's like autopilot. So for example, when I first started learning how to make money on my own, I basically didn't go, hey, how can I make $1 million right now? Of course, the $1 million was the big picture goal, but I actually had to simply begin with commitment. And how can I even make $20 a day in profit? I know that sounds low and small, but it just is what it is. And to be honest, it did seem like it was something that was too easy at the time, but I knew that it would be worth it, and that was the whole point. I needed to build momentum and basically just get my beak wet. So what I'm saying is that those small wins eventually compounded into $100 profit a day, then $500 profit, and eventually it just kept bubbling. And that's where it kind of just became what I would like to call my routine. So let's just make an example here for you. Let's say that you want to become a famous script writer. I don't know, right? You want to write a feature film. You dream of becoming this big screenwriter, but you're struggling to find time to write. The first thing you're going to want to do is set a goal of writing 5,000 words a day. And boom, basically you just burn out super quick, which basically is going to bring us to our second principle. Be specific. So using that same example, you're going to say, write more, or I'm going to say, make money. I don't think those work. What I'm saying is that's just too vague for goals. Instead, you need to define exactly what your habit will be. So think of when, where, and how will you do it. So instead of saying something like, I'll eat healthier, I personally made a specific plan, and that plan was I'll get 120 grams of protein, 76 grams of fat, and 285 grams of carbs every day through a very clean, plant-based diet. That level of clarity made it a lot easier for me to follow through with my health goals. Let's say that you're starting to realize your mistakes and where you went wrong with your goals. Now, if we go back to that feature film example of you being a screenwriter, you now set a new goal. Instead of saying 5,000 words, your new goal is, I'll write for 30 minutes every morning before I go to work. But even with a specific goal, you need a strong why, which is our next topic. What's your why factor? Why is this habit important to you? Ask yourself, what will you gain from it? What will you give the world in return from this habit? And the thing I like to always consider is that the stronger the reason or the stronger the why, the more motivated you're going to be. One of my favorite motivational speakers put it like this. If I asked you to run in this burning building for $20, would you do it? Most likely the answer is going to be no. Now, if your mom, dad, son, daughter, I don't know, baby mom, whatever, is in this burning building, the same exact burning building, and they're starting to fall apart, would you run in there to save their life? Same building, same fire, different why. The more you think about your why, you'll start remembering the joy of why you wanted to actually pursue this endeavor in the first place. You'll basically feel things like the initial satisfaction of completing something and the dream of sharing your results with the world will start to actually come to fruition. And basically what I'm saying is once you really understand that why, this can absolutely renew that sense of purpose for you to fuel that determination. Because a lot of times you're going to realize motivation comes and goes. And you're going to need discipline and determination to get through that. Which is basically leading to our next topic, which is stacking your habits. When we talk about habit stacking, what this really means is linking your new habit to an existing one. A good example I like to think of is after I brush my teeth, I'll write for 10 minutes every day. So back to our original example, the screenwriting one. Let's say you decide to stack those screenwriting habits with your morning workout routine. You can almost treat your workout like a prize. Tell yourself that once I finish writing for 10 minutes, then I'll get to work out, which means you get to feel good about yourself. So associate your habits with some type of prize at the end. And this is going to lead to our final area, my favorite one. I probably don't do this enough myself personally, but I think we all should practice celebrating success. What I'm saying is, don't forget to celebrate your success, even if they're small wins. It doesn't matter. You have to acknowledge your progress. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress, no matter the size. This positive reinforcement will keep you motivated. And basically, it's a perfect way to recognize your milestones, and you get to enjoy the process all while keeping yourself moving forward. The best part is actually being in the journey and embracing that process. It's not really about the end result. There you have it. 5 key principles of ways to form new habits. And remember, those are start small, be specific, find your why, stack your habits, and celebrate those successes. Now, it's your turn. What habit will you conquer? What habit will you start? Share your goals and experiences in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe and follow for more tips on personal growth and success. Thanks for watching, y'all. And I'll see you in the next one.